So for our cactus, we're going to start with actually making the cactus head. So it's really just a ball, and we actually are going to start building from the top, and then we're going to build down to the sides. So this first video, we're basically going to be doing what we call the increases. So we're going to start here and then do our increases, and I think it's 5 rows. You want to get a 3mm crochet hook. Honestly, anything in the 3 range works, so I think these are the blue ones and the gray ones. To find the size, you just see it here. Make sure you keep track of which crochet hook size you are using, just because they are slightly different. So when you grab one of the cactus kits, you should see there's a ball of yarn, a little pot, and then you have what we call the magic circle. So the magic circle's already been started for you. If you haven't started, if it's not started for you, you guys need to make a new one. I think I'll be posting a video maybe a bit later if I got it posted. I'm not sure yet. But when you grab this little knot basically at the end of your yarn, you're going to see that there's a couple things. So like there's this loop. There's this short little piece that's kind of got nothing to do. It's just kind of hanging there. And then you have the long piece that's attached to the ball of yarn. So this long piece is the working strand. He's going to be what we're going to be knitting, what we're going to be crocheting with. So to figure out what way we're going to start this, you basically want to have the loop on the right side. So if I have it this way, where you can see the loop is actually on the left side instead, this is backwards. So you want to flip it so the loop is on the right side. What we're going to do is we're going to stick our crochet hook inside the loop. So here's my loop. Crochet hook is going to go in. We're going to do the hook part in. So he's inside the loop like that. What you're going to do then is I'm going to hold the piece here, and then I'm going to pull my working strand. So the strand attached to the ball of yarn. So I'm going to pull that until it's tight. So what we want to do is we actually want to join this magic circle together. So we want to actually do our first crochet into this stitch over here. So the way you can do that is I like to basically fold this down so it looks a bit more like a little mushroom cap. I find it just makes it easier. What you're going to do then is you're just going to take your crochet hook. And we're going to start talking about how we're holding this. So I like to hold my crochet hook like this, like kind of like holding a pencil. But you can see that I have my hand basically holding it straight to my palm like this, just to have a really good grip on my crochet hook. To hold the working strand, what I like to do is basically I take my yarn, it goes under the palm of my hand and around my pointer finger like this. So again, it's just under the hand, around the pointer finger like this, and then I just kind of hook it in place like that. What you're going to do is you're going to use your middle finger and your thumb to hold your piece of work. Now this yarn, I want it inside, so I'm going to just tuck it back here, but this is how we hold it to start crocheting. So we're going to do the first stitch really shortly. So looking at the sides of our magic circle, you can see that there's like a little heart right there. That is my first stitch. So that's a stitch, here's a stitch, and there's another one there. So we're going to actually put a crochet hook into this first one here. So I'm just going to hook my yarn back into my hand. And here's my first stitch. So I'm going to go from the front, and I'm going to stick it in. So this is always the toughest one. You got to really jam it in. But you can see I know it's in because, let me just move this bit here. You can see that I've gone completely through, that I have a really nice thick bar on top of my crochet hook. What you're going to do then is going to take this yarn, I'm going to bring it towards me and wrap it around the hook. This is called a yarn over. I'm then just going to hold my piece and pull the crochet hook with the yarn back through. And I know I've done this right. When I bring my yarn to the front, you can see I have 2 loops on it. We're then going to take our yarn again, bring it around in front of the crochet hook, and then pull through both of them. And that is a single crochet. That's a full crochet. So in this pattern, we're actually going to do 2 in each stitch. There's 6 of them. So there's this one I'm in right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have to do this 6 times this increase. I'm going to show you it again. So I'm going to go back into the stitch I just made. So just stabbing it in like that, so you can see it's in the same stitch. I'm going to wrap my yarn around in front, pull through all the way, and sometimes it gets caught. You just got to keep pulling, and then it's out. Wrap it around again, and then pull through these two. So I've done 2 stitches in the first one. I'm now going to go into the next one, which is this stitch right here. So we're going to go again in the front, just sticking it through. Yarn is going to go over like that. Pull through. Yarn is going on in front, yarn over, and then pull through both of these. So that's 1 loop. I got to do 2 in each one. So going back to the same stitch, yarn is going to go in front, pull it through. Yarn is going to go in front and pull through. You'll really be able to see the increase in this one. So I'm going to do it one more time. Here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and then pull through these 2. Stick it back into the same stitch because we're doing 2 in each loop. So yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through. So I'm just keeping track in my head, but we've done 6 of them, and so you can see we're about halfway through, so I still have 1, 2, 3 stitches left. And then we're in the last one. So that's my first stitch in there, and then my second stitch. So if you look, I've gone completely around. Oh, it's focusing on the wrong thing. I've gone completely around, and it's a full circle for like little mushroom cap now. So this is where having a stitch marker comes into play. So this is one of the stitch markers that we have. This is actually a big one. A smaller one actually works better. I think the smaller ones are the yellow and blue ones, but I'm not absolutely certain. I don't remember. It might be yellow and purple. I'm not certain though. But you want to use a smaller one. I unfortunately only have a big one, so that's why I'm using this big one. But what's helpful is to write down what stitch you're on your stitch marker. So you can just use a whiteboard marker for that. So we've done the first row and the second row. You can also just count them. So 1, 2. This is row 3, and I'm just going to write it out on my stitch marker. So putting your stitch marker on, if you look at it here, it's a little click thing, so you just click it out, and then you can basically wrap it around your stitch. So the way I wrap it is I basically put it right here, so it's underneath my crochet hook, but on top of the working strand. So it's a little tough to see, but I've looped it through there, and then I'm just going to click it in place. So we've done our second row, which was 2 stitches in each stitch. For the third row, the pattern changes slightly. What we're going to do is we do 1 crochet in this stitch, then we do 2 single crochets in the next stitch. So how that looks is, here's my, if I look at this, I can see this is my next stitch that's right next to my pink bar. So I'm going to stick my crochet hook through. I'm going to wrap it around once, pull through, and then wrap around once, and wrap it around once, and then pull through both of these for the full crochet. So, like for the previous row, we would have done 2, but now we go on to the next one, and this is the one that gets 2. So, in him, so underneath, I'm going to wrap it around, pull through, wrap it around, yarn over, pull through, and then back inside the same stitch. So it goes in front, then pull it through, it goes in front, and then pull through. No, there we go. So now we repeat that pattern. So here, yarn in once, wrap it around, yarn over, pull through for 1 crochet, and then this one we're going to do 2 single crochet. So yarn over, and then inside the same stitch again. So this guy that was just in, we're going to do another one. So this pattern, basically when you get to this pink stitch marker, you actually want to put, your pattern should be you have 2 stitches in him. And so we can just kind of keep at it. So I've done that once, twice. You're going to do that 6 times again. So here, 1 stitch, 2, 1 stitch, 2, that's 4, 1 stitch, 2, that's 5, 1 stitch, 2, that's 6. So this repeats in a round of 6. Okay, so I'm getting down to the stitch right before my marker. So I have 1 stitch here. And then in my marker, I'm going to do 2 stitches. So I'm just going to take it out so it's not in the way. So in this stitch, I'm going to do a single crochet. Oops, caught on the yarn a little bit there. And then another crochet in there. And that is row 3. Again, now moving on to row 4. So row 4, we're still increasing. This time though, we're going to do 1 single crochet, like 2 single crochets in a row for the 2 next stitches, and then in the 3rd stitch, we would do our increase. So how's that gonna look? Here is my first free stitch after my after my marker. So again, this is why it's easy to use a smaller marker. It doesn't get in the way so much. But sticking it through, 1 crochet in the first stitch. So now into the 2nd stitch, another just single crochet. And then in this 3rd stitch here, this is where we would do our 2 single crochets. So 1, 2. And so this looping pattern is always the same. Remember, yarn keeps going over, so if you're getting stuck in that. But now, same repeating our pattern. So 1 stitch here, 1 stitch here, and then we're going to do our increase. So 1 stitch and our 2nd stitch inside the same row. So you're going to do that all the way around. Okay, so just nearing the end of my pattern. So 2, and then in my pink bar, we're going to do our 2 single crochets right there. 1, 2. So already you can see it's starting to make like a little dome. That's exactly what we want it to do, to start rounding out. So we have 1 more row of increases. So this is row 5. So row 5. So row 5, this is our last row of increases. After this stitch, we have what we call the stockinette, but don't worry about that because that's going to be the next video. But what we're going to be doing is this. So we did, in our last one, we did 1 crochet, 1 crochet, and then we did 2 in the 3rd one. For this one, we're going to do, sorry, let me see. Here it is. We're going to do 1 crochet, 1 crochet, 1 crochet, and then in this one, we're going to do 2 crochets. So 1 crochet, another single crochet, that's 2, my 3rd stitch, and then in this 4th one is when we do our 2. So 1, oh, I didn't pull through all the way for that one, pull through all the way, and back inside 2. So again, repeating it again, 1, 2, 3, and fourth stitch has 2. Getting to our last batch. So this is the 6th time I've done this. So 1 crochet, another single crochet, another single crochet, and then we're at my stitch marker where I'm going to do my increase. So a crochet and another crochet. I'm just going to pull it out so I don't need to worry about my yarn coming out. But that is all the increases. The next step is going to be building, well, basically we've done kind of the top part. The rest of it is now building the face of our cactus.